the wedding, I waited with bated breath for my fiancée Sophia to make her entrance. Unexpectedly, she appeared on the catwalk in her wedding dress, accompanied by her male assistant Ethan. She said, "Ryan, I've decided not to marry you. This wedding is between Ethan and me, but I'll help you arrange your own wedding." Ethan looked at Sophia with a sad expression on his face as I hesitated. He said, "Sophia, I don't want to make things difficult for you. For your happiness, I'm willing to bear the pain myself." Sophia felt very angry at these words. Sophia pointed at me and said, "Ryan, you are just a guest in this house, so why are you rejecting me?" The guests were waiting quietly to see what I would do next. I calmly handed Ethan the bouquet in my hands, looked at Sophia and said, "Word for word, I support your marriage. I have no objections." Hearing me say this, Sophia gave a look of approval, as if praising me. But a day later, she was frantically begging me to let them get back together. The wedding was about to start, but my fiancée Sophia had not shown up. I was anxious, so I called my assistant Jacob. Ryan told me that I had just learned that Sophia had gone on vacation with a friend. Jacob told me about Sophia's situation with some hesitation. "Who is she with? Where did she go?" Jacob was silent for a few seconds and sighed. "Miss Sophia and Ethan have been gone to California for half a month." No wonder every time I called Sophia during this period, she always found a way to hang up. It turns out that she went to California with Ethan, the male assistant, behind my back. Ryan always said not to think too much about it. Ethan is Miss Sophia's assistant, and it is normal for him to go on a trip with Miss Sophia. There may be other people going with them, but I haven't found out about it. I will check again. Jacob felt uneasy and hung up the phone in a panic. I sat in the dressing room, clutching the phone tightly. I saw my fingers turning white, my heart racing, and I couldn't help but tug at my tie. Did Sophia really not know how important this was? The wedding was about to start, and she wouldn't let our big moment be delayed because of a bachelorette trip, would she? No, after all these years with her, she knows the truth so well, she would never ignore it. The more I forced myself to stay calm, the more bad thoughts came to mind. Could it be true that she is having an affair with Ethan? I slapped myself hard to remind myself, "Ryan, you are a man, why are you so petty? Ethan is Sophia's assistant. It is normal for him to go on a trip with Sophia. Don't speculate on Sophia with those bad thoughts." While scolding myself, I tried hard to calm down. Looking at the clock on the wall, which kept spinning, I was unwilling to give up and picked up my phone to dial a number. After a few rings, I expected to hear a busy signal. I waited with disappointment for the cold mechanical prompt. Unexpectedly, the phone actually connected this time. Although the voice was a bit hoarse, I could hardly hide my excitement. But the next second, the enthusiasm in my heart was suddenly extinguished by a cold shower. "Sophia, do you really have to do this? Will Ryan agree?" Listening to Ethan's timid voice, Sophia said confidently, "He's just an orphan. I call the shots. If he's unhappy, I'll make him lose everything. But after all these years of your relationship, isn't this too unfair to him? You're always so soft-hearted. We've been together for the past 2 weeks. Don't you trust me yet?" It felt like my heart had been emptied out, and the pain was so severe that my whole body felt uncomfortable. "I do trust you, Coco." At that moment, Sophia let out a soft grunt, accompanied by the sound of a kiss. There was a hurried knock on the door, and I quickly hung up the phone. Ryan said that Sophia had been found. Her car was parked outside the hotel, and the wedding should be able to start on time. I saw a happy expression on Jacob's face. "Are all the guests here? What time does Mr. Smith's flight take off?" "Mr. Smith's flight is delayed, but he should be able to make it for the second half of the wedding." "Good. Please ask Miss Sophia to come in and tell everyone to get ready. The wedding is about to start." Jacob ran out happily. He was still thinking about the phone call that seemed to be made on purpose. I looked at the screensaver of Sophia wearing a wedding dress and smiling happily. After making up my mind, I made a phone call. After arranging things, I let out a long sigh and slumped in my chair. Hearing the familiar sound of high heels outside the door, I sat up straight and waited for the person to come in with a smile on my face. "Ryan, I've missed you so much. This period of time has really exhausted me." Sophia threw herself at me as if inviting me, and I smelled a sweet jasmine fragrance. This fragrance, which was not mine, came at me like it was telling me something that was impossible to happen in the first place and could no longer be changed. I gently stroked her forehead. "Ethan," with a smile on his face, said as he carried something, "This is something Miss Sophia has specially prepared for you on this business trip." He respectfully crouched down and opened the gift box for me. Sophia gently placed the ring on my ring finger and said, "Ryan, do you like it? I had it specially made, and there's only one pair in the world, just like you and me. Both of us are unique." I noticed that my ring finger was a little sore, and it was obvious that the ring didn't fit my size. The woman in my arms, who always told lies to please me, was no longer the same person I had once loved unconditionally. Looking at Sophia, whose face was beaming with happiness, I tried to suppress my discomfort and gave her a kiss on the forehead. Ethan, who was half crouching, had red circles under his eyes and was unconsciously tugging at his shirt. The dark red mark and bright red scratch on his chest caught my eye. "Poor my dear baby, it seems you haven't been taking care of yourself and have lost a lot of weight." I gently stroked Sophia's face. Maybe I had been crouching for too long, or maybe I was a little jealous. Ethan's whole body trembled slightly, and he seemed a little out of control. Sophia noticed his unusual behavior and immediately stood up. "I'm glad you know. The wedding is about to start, so you should go out first. I need to get ready," she said as she helped me stand up. I softly responded to Sophia's words and got up to leave. Ethan couldn't take his eyes off Sophia. Sophia asked him, "Ethan, don't you want to go out with me?" Ethan froze for a moment and saw Sophia biting her lip, looking a little lost. At this time, Sophia called out to me and said, "Ryan, there is still some work I need to communicate with Ethan. Can I let him stay here first?" I saw a flash of excitement in Ethan's eyes. After seeing me nod, a happy smile appeared on his face. Sophia smiled and kissed my cheek, and then sent me out. Standing outside the door, listening to the sounds coming from inside made my heart ache. I clenched my fists. Holding the flowers in my hands, I stood on the stage and looked at the picture of the two people embracing each other unwillingly. The despair in my heart was like a tidal wave, about to drown me. Sophia, the woman I spent the first half of my life loving, actually performed so badly at the wedding. "Ethan, hurry up, the wedding is about to start. I really can't hold on any longer." Sophia, who was feeling weak, leaned over Ethan. "Sophia, something's wrong. What if you've accidentally got pregnant?" Sophia looked at what Ethan was holding and said casually, "Don't worry, even if the baby isn't Ryan's, he won't have the guts not to support it." Hearing Sophia's dismissive words, I couldn't help but clench my bouquet in my hands. I continued, "I'll see if I'm better or him. I'm sure your first child will be mine." Sophia's reply made Ethan feel much more at ease. He moved casually next to Sophia. Sophia gripped her magnificent wedding dress tightly, pulling with all her strength as her body heaved. I went to Paris to study custom wedding dress design for this wedding. I spent 3 whole years painstakingly sewing Sophia's wedding dress, only to have it stained by an unknown liquid. Seeing this, I felt so sick I almost vomited. "Ryan, what's wrong?" Jacob noticed that something was wrong with me, so he quickly came over and handed me a glass of water. "Has Miss Sophia not finished getting dressed yet? Why don't you give her a call and hurry her along?" Jacob frowned as he dialed the phone a few times, but there was no answer. Jacob said, "Please wait a moment, I'll go and get Sophia in the powder room." The two people in the picture were interrupted by the phone call and instantly lost interest. Sophia impatiently called for the makeup artist to come and do her makeup. The makeup artist blushes when she sees the kiss mark on her neck and quickly uses a brush to cover it up. Jacob is getting anxious as time is running out. Ryan says, "I'll go and hurry up Miss Sophia. Don't worry." I quickly stop Jacob, who was about to get up, and ask, "Have the journalists you invited arrived yet? When they arrive, ask them to sit at the front." I saw that there were many guests in the audience, so I pointed to the row of family members on the man's side and told Jacob to ask the journalists to sit there. Jacob didn't quite understand, but he did as I asked. I couldn't help smiling when I saw the journalists with their camera equipment. "Go hurry up, Sophia, and don't forget to contact Mr. Smith's driver and ask him to take a detour." 5 minutes later, Jacob messaged Ryan, saying that Sophia had arrived and the wedding could begin. The wedding music started, and all eyes were on the closed door. In the past, I would have been thrilled to see the girl I always wanted to marry standing outside the door. Now, I just smiled at the cheers from the audience, looking perfectly composed. But inside, I was burning with anger, and the love I once felt had long since burned out. My heart was filled with rage, and I was looking forward to what was about to happen. The fireworks fell in the sky, and the door slowly opened. Sophia appeared in her wedding dress. Cheers and applause erupted, and the MC encouraged me to go to Sophia. I calmly waited where I was for Sophia's reaction. After she stood still, she reached out her hand to hold onto Ethan's arm next to her, and walked firmly towards me. Finally, someone noticed the unusual atmosphere, and the chatter began to drown out the cheers. Normally, the bridesmaids follow the bride out, so why was there a best man? What was going on? Could it be that Miss Sophia's younger brother is here to see his sister off? No, I think I've seen this man before. He seems to be Sophia's assistant. Hearing the comments from everyone, Sophia did not hesitate for a moment. Instead, she greeted Ethan and the people in the audience in a very natural way. They looked like a newlywed couple receiving blessings. Sophia was already standing in front of me. Her hand was tightly clasped with Ethan's, unwilling to let go. The MC softly reminded the gentleman that he could leave. Ethan didn't react at all, and the MC looked at me at a loss. I signaled for him to continue with the proceedings, and then the MC hastily said, "Everyone, please give a big round of applause to witness this happy moment, and please ask this gentleman to hand over the bride to the groom, and ask this gentleman to step down." But no one applauded. The MC urged a few times, and when he saw that Ethan was not going to leave, the MC closed his mouth with some annoyance. Sophia grabbed the microphone, took Ethan's hand and told me, "Ryan, I'm getting married to Ethan today, and I'll find another time to help you celebrate your wedding." As soon as she finished speaking, there was a burst of surprised voices from the audience. Wow, it turns out that even rich people like to have a good time. A wedding on the go. Oh dear, Sophia is really a heroine who steals the show. A wedding on the go is not bad. I think that male assistant is quite handsome. Hasn't Ryan always been very confident? He's an orphan, and he's so full of himself that he could fly. I really want to see how he'll react this time. The guests at the scene stared at me with interest, wanting to see what I would do next. Seeing that I hadn't said anything, Ethan frowned and tried to let go of Sophia's hand. Ethan looked at Sophia with a face full of sorrow. He said, "Sophia, I shouldn't make things difficult for you. I'm willing to endure my own pain for your happiness." After saying this, he began to cry softly. Sophia couldn't bear to see Ethan's sadness, so she rushed up to Ryan and asked, "What makes you, an orphan, refuse me?" Her words caused a discussion among the guests. From the day I became engaged to the Smith family, I have lived in the Smith household as an orphan. However, my treatment is not in the least worse than Sophia, a young lady. Moreover, I have never liked the behavior of the young masters in the circle, and I have never wanted to mix with them. Sophia's words gave them an opportunity to belittle me, and I could hear the jeers from the crowd. This unknown orphan, who is lucky enough to be marrying into the Smith family, is ungrateful. Miss Sophia is really elevating him by agreeing to marry him. He has nothing, and he's so hot-tempered. If it weren't for the engagement with the Smith family, he wouldn't even be worthy of holding my shoes. Look at him, acting so confident. I really don't know what I am. Just looking at him makes me angry. Once the wedding is over, I will definitely teach him a lesson. These rich kids' attitudes seem arrogant. It seems that they have received some kind of instruction. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence that they are all attacking me at the same time? I took a closer look and noticed that Ethan was smugly hinting something to them. I knew in my heart that he was behind all of this. Sophia felt emboldened by these words. She said angrily, "Ryan, I'm not here to discuss this with you. I'm just telling you the decision. You don't think you have the right to refuse, do you?" Sophia's brow was knitted, and it was obvious that she was already angry. At the moment everyone was paying attention, I handed Ethan the bouquet. "Today you get married, and I have no objections. By the way, I, Ryan, wish you a happy marriage, grow old together, and always be together." As soon as I said that, the guests looked at me in surprise. Did he really think it was that easy? He agreed so quickly. I thought he would insist for a while. Did he dare to do that? He is not even a burden, but at most, he is like a dog that the Smiths keep. Which dog dares to argue with its owner? He understands his position, but he can't expect the Smiths to protect him anymore. Ethan is younger and more capable than him, and I would like Ethan too. Hearing the guests' recognition of her, Sophia gave me an appreciative look like she was praising a puppy. Ethan looked at me complacently like a cocky rooster. I didn't care about this at all, and I just picked the flower on my chest and stepped on it. As I thought, Sophia's face immediately turned ugly. "Ryan, how can you lose your temper at Ethan and my wedding?" Everyone was right. I really was being too tolerant. Seeing that I was about to leave, Sophia reached out to stop me, but she had just done some strenuous aerobic exercises and was feeling very tired. Plus, the train of her wedding dress was covered in diamonds, making her movements awkward. Her attempt failed, and her face looked even worse. Seeing this, Ethan reached out to stop me, saying, "Ryan, Sophia is talking to you. Can't you hear her?" I glared up at him and asked, "What did you say I was?" "Ryan, you don't really think of yourself as the boss, do you? An orphan like you wants to be the boss." Sophia didn't stop Ethan from speaking rudely to me. Seeing that I didn't react, Ethan forcefully pushed me to the ground and pointed at the flowers on my chest and said, "Pick it up." I said, "Pick it up, you hear me?" I bent down without budging, which angered Sophia. She came at me in her heavy wedding dress and slapped me hard. "Ryan, why can't you understand? Do you have to make a scene today?" I looked up at him with cold eyes. If you pick up the boutonniere and respectfully put it on Ethan, I will forgive you for your rudeness today. If you do this and make things even worse, think about the consequences of this. Sophia's words made the rich people who already looked down on me even more pleased with themselves. After being in this role for so many years, I actually couldn't hold on anymore this time, and I had to try to cover it up. This is really troublesome, isn't it? I had to act like I was awesome, but as a result, I didn't become a wolf, and I'm even about to lose the role of the dog. That's just how he is. He never knows how to cherish opportunities. Miss Sophia is still too tolerant of him. She should make him give up these impractical ideas once and for all. Sophia's words made her think of something. Seeing that I haven't nodded my head, Sophia's face already showed some anger. Ryan, they are right. How can you not understand the basics? I will count to 3. If you pick it up, I will make it up to you at the wedding. If you don't, then our engagement is over. I felt a surge of pride as I looked at Sophia, who was full of determination and the flashing lights. I had been waiting for those words for a long time, and now it was time to strike back. How dare you mention the engagement, Sophia? Since I joined the Smith family and became engaged to Sophia, I have never spoken harshly to her. Today, in front of so many people, my complaints completely made Sophia lose her cool. She didn't care at all that so many guests were watching from below. She hastily instructed Ethan to handle the situation. How dare Ethan say such things to me? Ethan, hold him down while I show him my attitude. Under Ethan's pressure, I pretended to fall to the ground. Sophia slapped my face hard, leaving visible marks from her long fingernails. The flashing lights calmed Sophia down a little. Who invited the reporters? Tell them to leave. I don't want them at my wedding. The security guard obliges and asks the reporters to leave. Who dares? I invited these reporters, and I want to expose you in front of so many people. When the time comes, I try to break free from Ethan's control and stand up. I wipe my mouth and point at Sophia and Ethan, saying, everyone can take a good look. Miss Sophia actually has 2 different faces. Perhaps realizing that I might turn against her, Sophia began shouting, telling the security guards to get rid of the reporters. But the reporters, eager to expose the news, put up a fierce resistance. At that moment, the video of Sophia arguing with Ethan in the dressing room was played on the screen. No wonder Sophia wants a divorce. Ethan seems quite a character. Sophia is really something, enjoying such excitement while wearing a wedding dress. It's really quite interesting. What a disappointment. I thought she was decent. When I was courting her, she even looked down on me, and now I find out she's having an affair with someone else. I really thought she was some kind of big shot, but look at her, she's so happy she could fly. Sophia was even more furious when she heard the rich playboy's insults. She reached out to strike me again, but Ethan next to her held her back. He leaned in close to her and whispered a few words, and Sophia's anger immediately disappeared from her face. Her expression became as if she were saying to me, I've really been played by Ryan. Ryan, I was going to give you some slack, but you just had to go and get yourself into trouble. Since there are reporters here today, let's set the record straight. She cleared her throat, straightened her clothes, and regained that pure and elegant appearance. I'm Sophia. I'm taking the opportunity of this wedding to declare that the person I've always wanted to marry is Ethan. That engagement was arranged by my family for me. After understanding my feelings, I asked Ryan to cancel the engagement, but he not only refused, he also threatened me with a private video of Ethan and me. As she spoke, she pretended to shed tears. Since he has spread my video in front of so many people today, I not only want to cancel our engagement, but also hold him responsible for spreading the video. As soon as she finished speaking, Ethan showed everyone the prepared legal letter. Please take a good look, everyone. This is a legal letter issued by Smith Group, which clearly states that Sophia's engagement to Ryan has been annulled, and the Smith family will hold Ryan responsible. I hope everyone will know how to report this story when you go out. On the one hand, there is the powerful Smith Group, and on the other, there is Ethan, whose face is full of disdain when my name is mentioned. Perhaps worried that mentioning my name would damage his image, Ethan said in a sarcastic tone that some people don't even bother mentioning it. It was obvious that Sophia was thinking of him, but he made things so awkward. As Sophia's husband, I decided to do her justice. I had already contacted legal counsel and was prepared to sue him in my name. At this point, I saw Sophia and Ethan looking at me with indignation. I responded that it was just a fake lawyer's letter, and it didn't even have Mr. Smith's signature on it, so it didn't count at all. My words left Sophia and Ethan speechless. Miss Sophia, what you say about the Smith family doesn't count. I looked at Sophia with some disdain in my heart, and her anger from earlier reappeared on her face. Ethan hesitated for a few seconds, and whispered something to Sophia. Okay, that's settled. Send it now. I'll take responsibility if there are any problems. The phone vibrated twice, and I couldn't help but smile when I read the message. Finally, it was done. Sophia, the Smith family is about to encounter a major crisis. There are many people at the scene who are shareholders of the Smith family. They have also been instructed by Sophia to let Ethan publish the information publicly on the internet. Sophia sent a lawyer's letter via the Smith Group's emergency document method. The message was also posted on the Smith family website. Excuse me, Mr. Ryan, Mr. Smith's car will be arriving at the wedding venue in 15 minutes. Should I inform him of this? Jacob, who had received a reply, stood up and walked towards the exit of the hall. Ryan, did you see that? Your engagement has been ruined by yourself, and your good times are over. Sophia's face was full of a triumphant smile. She waved the phone in her hand and said, Ryan, I've already called the police, and they'll be here to arrest you soon. But if you don't want to go to jail, you can kneel down and beg me, and apologize to Ethan, and I might consider it. Seeing Sophia's expression, which I really didn't like, made me feel even more disgusted. Is that so? Do you really think you've won? If I told you that this would not only get you and that unreliable person into trouble, but also the Smith family, would you believe me? I can't believe it. Ryan, you really don't understand your situation. Ethan pushed me away with his finger pointing at my chest. He said, you're an orphan and you want to get the Smith family into trouble. That's hilarious. Then he put his arm around Sophia and said, Sophia, look at him. I guess he was so scared that he actually wanted to deal with the Smith family. Sophia, I'll give you one more chance, and it's also for the sake of Mr. Smith. As long as you explain your relationship with him clearly in front of the reporters today, I will let the Smith family go. Seeing how serious I was, Sophia broke free from Ethan's embrace. Ryan, you're such an arrogant person. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Guards, quickly take him away. Ethan and I still have to continue with the wedding. The security guards in the hall saw that the Smith family shareholders were all supporting Sophia and thought I was finished, so they rudely came up to arrest me. While arguing with them, I accidentally fell to the ground. Sophia seized the opportunity and stepped on my foot with her high heels. Ryan, I let you get angry with me. I really want to see what you will do to the Smith family. She stamped her heel heavily on my face, and her triumphant laughter echoed through the hall. How dare you? Mr. Smith said in a low voice from behind me. Sophia thought she had someone to rely on and ran tearfully towards Mr. Smith. But the next second, she was pushed to the ground by heavily armed security guards. Grandpa, it's Sophia. What are you doing? Ryan bullied me. You have to tell someone to arrest him. Sophia hadn't figured out what had happened yet and was saying that I was in the wrong. Mr. Smith knelt on the ground and respectfully helped me up. Ryan is just a child. It's my parents' fault for not teaching him better. You're a generous person, so don't mind that person. Ethan walked up quickly and said, Mr. Smith, what are you talking about? It was clearly Ryan who bullied Sophia. Mr. Smith didn't give him the chance to speak and told the bodyguard to tie him up. So it was you who seduced Sophia and insulted Ryan. Come on, do it. Following his order, Ethan's painful cries echoed through the auditorium. Grandpa, that's my assistant Ethan. Do you remember him? Pop, Sophia's face suddenly swelled up. She looked at Mr. Smith with some confusion and reddened eyes. Grandpa, I'm your only granddaughter, Sophia. Don't you remember me? What's wrong with you? Seeing that she still wanted to argue, Mr. Smith hit her a few more times. Be quiet. You should be quiet. In fact, you shouldn't have been allowed to stay in the first place. Sophia was unwilling to accept this and was led by the bodyguard to me. Mr. Smith once again knelt heavily before me and said, Young Ryan, Sophia is ignorant and has let you and the Ryan family down. It is all because I did not properly discipline her that she has offended you. I apologize to you on her behalf. Looking at the old man with his white hair and blurred eyes, I felt a little sympathy, but as soon as I saw Sophia kneeling next to him with a defiant expression on her face, that feeling immediately disappeared. Young Ryan, for the mistakes this child has made, I am willing to personally go to the Ryan family in New York to apologize. I hope you can be generous and forgive this child and the Smith family. What? He is from the Ryan family in New York. Among the guests who had arrived, some were from New York, and they were immediately surprised. The Smith family was really unlucky to have offended someone from the Ryan family. In fact, not just in New York, no one in the whole of the United States would dare to provoke the Ryan family. The surrounding chatter grew louder and louder, and Mr. Smith's face grew increasingly red. Ryan, I'm willing to trade half the Smith family for you. Please let you and the Ryan family spare my father and me. I looked up at Sophia. There was no longer any expression of discontent on her face, replaced by a look of helplessness and fear. Although she hadn't paid much attention to the company over the years, she had heard of the Ryan family's reputation. Grandpa, have you really made a mistake? How could he be Orion? Sophia, who didn't want to believe it, asked Mr. Smith to confirm it again. But Mr. Smith sighed helplessly and replied. Sophia came towards me on her knees. Ryan, I was enchanted and shouldn't have betrayed you. Can you forgive me? Looking at Sophia, who was kneeling on the ground and pleading with me, I didn't feel any compassion at all. I knew I had completely let her go. I struggled to break free of her hands, which were clinging to my calves. Miss Sophia, please show a little respect for yourself. Didn't you just call me a mad dog 10 minutes ago? I can't accept your apology. I stared at Sophia from above, trying to see what she would do next. She thought for 2 seconds, then staggered over to the bruised Ethan. Pointing at him, she shouted, "You seduced me first, making Ryan and I fall out. You were the one who called Ryan a mad dog, so you should apologize to him first." Ethan's face paled, and he crawled towards me in a pitiful manner. "Ryan, he really is a person who doesn't know how to behave. I shouldn't have imagined that I could get a noble person like you, and you shouldn't argue with a trivial person like me." While saying this, he imitated a dog barking, trying to get my forgiveness. After venting his emotions, it was time to deal with the Smith family. I helped Mr. Smith, who was kneeling on the ground, get up, sat him in a chair, and bowed to him. "Mr. Smith, I'm afraid I can't meet your request." 2 hot tears slid down his cheeks. "Ryan, is there really no room for compromise? In return for the kindness we received, the Ryan family has helped the Smith family for so many years. Not to mention, you've seen the situation the Smith family is in." I waved my hand, and Jacob handed me a stack of documents. "Take a look, and if there's no problem, just sign them." Mr. Smith shook my hand tightly and said, "Ryan, is there really no way to talk about this? Even if I had to send them both to prison." I broke free of his grip. It was no longer possible. They both had to be held responsible for what they had done. I saw Mr. Smith sign the takeover contract with my own eyes. I told Jacob to tell the Ryan family that the collaboration could be terminated. "And did you record the insults that those people just shouted at me? Send them to the lawyers. They will pay for it." The arrogance on their faces vanished without a trace, replaced by pleading and sadness. I ignored their pleas for help and walked away without looking back. Half a month later, the takeover of the Smith family was complete. Considering Mr. Smith's influence, I decided to send him back to his hometown. Before starting the car, I walked up to say goodbye. Suddenly, a woman in disheveled clothes rushed over, crying, "Grandpa, you can't go. You can't leave me." I looked carefully, and the dirty woman was Sophia. Mr. Smith didn't even look at her and was about to close the car door. Seeing that Mr. Smith was in a bad situation, she turned to me and begged for help. "Ryan, I know I was wrong to betray you and treat you that way. I really regret it. Can you forgive me? I'm willing to marry you. The form of the wedding doesn't matter, as long as you can forgive me." At my signal, the bodyguards separated us. "Ryan, you can't blame me for this. If you had told me earlier that you were the young master of the Ryan family, how would we have ended up in this situation? You can't just abandon me. Our Smith family has done you Ryan family a favor. Your father personally said that the engagement between you and me was valid. How can you just say it's invalid?" I sneered. "The favor our Smith family has done your Ryan family is that your mother gave me a few mouthfuls of milk when I was born. Over the years, our family has provided so much financial support to your family. Isn't that enough? And Sophia, you should remember that I didn't break the engagement. You were the one who announced it yourself." Sophia's face turned ugly, but she still didn't give up and continued to plead. "Ryan, I really know I was wrong. Please give me one last chance. I'm willing to do anything as long as you forgive me and don't send me to prison. Sophia, you don't need to come to me anymore. I gave you a chance before, but you gave it up for Ethan. Now you just wait for the result." After saying that, I got into the car and didn't look back. In the following days, Jacob kept telling me about Sophia's situation. "Ryan always." Sophia just stayed in front of the company for a few days before leaving. However, the security guard told me that she kept saying Ethan's name when she left. I was too busy signing documents to pay much attention to Jacob's report. 3 days later, after I had just signed the contract, I was watching the news when I saw an update. A woman had slashed a man with a knife on the street, 18 times in total, and the man had died instantly. The suspect seemed to be Sophia, the former Miss Smith group. I was shocked when I saw the somewhat vacant-looking Sophia in the photo. After a few seconds, I walked out of the office with a calm face. The light of the setting sun shone on my face as I stretched and walked out of the office in a relaxed and happy mood.